So I'm back with another story, and today's story is a little bit of a short story. It's a little bit different than my other substance story videos. This is the story of the time that I had quit Mcdongle. Now, I know probably everybody's worked at Mcdongle or something like that one time in their life, but I've worked at Dunkin' Donuts and another fast food place that I don't really want to mention the name of. And both of those places I had quit because I had an injury, and that's a whole nother separate story in itself. I really got to make a video on that. But I had this injury and I had to quit, and the injury wasn't the reason why I had quit at Mcdongle. So this story is a little interesting. So this story takes place a week ago, and I was working. It was my 4th day working, and I was doing stuff on the register. I was trying to figure out the system to bag the items and get them out to the right customers, and it was a little bit difficult because you had to press this button and a receipt would print out. Like, you couldn't just look at the screen and be like, okay, this person needs fries, a burger. Like, it was just really confusing to me, and I was getting the hang of it on the 4th day. I was getting all the stuff together, but for some reason, all of a sudden, like, things got messed up, and it was a very busy day. This was on Black Friday, and I worked in a McDongle that was in a Walmart. So there was just so many people, like 30 people in the line. So on this day, I was taking orders. I was doing stuff. I was trying to get the orders into the bags and do it right, because I wasn't doing it right because I didn't understand every single sandwich. Like, they barely spent a single minute training me on anything, so I didn't know about anything, and the orders started piling up, and I didn't know which sandwiches were which, and they weren't, like, labeled, and there wasn't any, like, key. So I was kind of just waiting there for all of the sandwiches to be made, and maybe eventually the other people would come and help me, and there's only 2 other people, and that was the general manager. She was in the back, like, on the phone. And then there was the cook, the guy making the sandwiches. So I'm trying to bag these orders up, and I'm not really knowing what to do. I'm standing there, and everything's starting to pile up. Like, there's 20 sandwiches in front of me, and, like, I've got, like, 15 bags open, and most of them are empty. So now things are falling on the floor, and things are getting pretty chaotic. And that's when I drop a sandwich on the ground. And the manager was already losing her mind, and she was talking about how I was messing up the sandwiches and this and that. And when I had dropped it, I had walked over to her. I said, "I'm so sorry. I did not mean to drop it. It was an accident." And she starts losing her mind. She's like, "That's coming out of your paycheck. That's coming out of your paycheck." And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you can't just take that out of somebody's paycheck. And I started freaking out. Like, panic ensued into my body. I just started, like, I tried to keep myself composed for the most part, but, like, I was shaking. I was about to start crying. Like, I was just not having it. Nobody was taking any money out of my paycheck, that's for sure. So I had made a decision, and I was like, I gotta quit. I gotta leave here. So she was talking to me, and then this other customer starts talking to her, and she's like, "You can't treat people like that. That's not right." And guys, this was on Black Friday in a Walmart, in a McDonald's. So there was like 30 people. Like, max 30 people in that McDonald's. So there was people in the line. Everybody was waiting for their food, and this lady, this customer, was just cursing out the general manager, you know, saying, "Oh, this isn't right. You shouldn't be treating new employees like this. Like, that's why everybody is quitting. That's why nobody's working." And all 30 of the people who were in line, they were listening to this customer just go off on this general manager, and they all seemed to be in agreement. And at this point, a couple other people had spoken out, and at this point, the general manager told me to go out and wipe the tables down. And I don't. I walk right out. I leave McDonald's, I leave the Walmart, and I'm walking down the street, I'm walking down the block, and I walk home. I had enough of that place. I had enough of working at fast food places, and eventually I had gotten a job at Dollar Tree. And that's the end of today's video. I got so many more stories planned. I got so many stories planned for just this month. I got first time having visuals on mushrooms, taking seeds to trip, taking Valium, talking to paramedics on mushrooms, and this crazy ecstasy trip, which is probably going to be one of the craziest videos I tell on this channel. So stay tuned for that. Follow me on Instagram, dankity_spankity, and I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully next week.